First of all, thank you so much for typing this comment. I have so much to add to this. But first of all, for those who are new here, hi, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist. I also talk a lot about decentering men, child-free living, the intersections of the two, political implications, all of that. So if any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, subscribe. But let's dive into this comment and all of my thoughts. So the comment is connected to a video that I made that basically talks about how it's part of a saga basically about my time in Tenerife, which for those of you who are unfamiliar is one of the Canary Islands, which is a Spanish, I can't even really say colony at this point because it's really just a series of islands that are basically Spain off the coast of Africa. It's very close to Morocco and Sierra Leone. It was very racist over there. I did not have a good time. And the intersections of the racism and then the ableism that I experienced over there truly was a sight to behold. So I will be reaching out to my editors to rant about that in as many spaces as possible. Now, let's dive into the comment. How would you compare Tenerife to Russia? At this point, there needs to be a list of unsafe spaces for Black women. There's two parts to this. One, also for those of you who are new here, I will be tagging the video right up there, but I did spend quite a bit of time in Moscow when I was, also for those of you who don't know, I'm a Harvard graduate. I know it's bougie, let's move past it. With that, there was a study abroad section of my program where I had to spend like 4 or 5 months in Moscow. It was the worst time of my life. Comparing the two, I do still think that Russia is significantly more dangerous than my experience of Tenerife, of the Canary Islands. I will say once again, the Canary Islands are a series of islands. So I personally had a terrible experience on Tenerife. But I did also spend some time on Gran Canaria and it was better. Do I think that I would ever visit again? Personally, no, it wasn't that much. It wasn't phenomenal. It was better. I felt safer. I felt more like, I can't even really say appreciated. I just felt like more of a person and less of a disruption, a disturbance, something that people wanted to shoo away because of my Blackness, right? So there is that. Out of the two, Gran Canaria, 10 out of 10. No, I'm not going to say 10. Gran Canaria, much better. But back to the initial question. My experience of Russia, and I lived in Moscow, but I also did spend some time in St. Petersburg. It was not any better. My experience of being a Black woman in Russia is that the racism there is significantly more in your face, and people do not have an issue with touching you, with grabbing you. And I talk a whole lot more about it in this video. So if you're curious about what my experience like that was, please go click on that. Trigger warnings for all of the things. Trigger warnings, right? I don't think that my experience on Tenerife was uncomfortable and it was annoying and it was disruptive, but I did not feel in danger. In Russia, I felt in danger every day. Now, going to the second part of this comment, at some point there needs to be a list of unsafe places for Black women. I completely agree, and that's what I've been trying to build up on my page, because the kind of journalism that I do, I basically talk about food and travel politics internationally from the Black woman's perspective. So with that, I travel a lot and I eat a lot and I meet a lot of different people. And yeah, there's a lot of press trips, but generally the kinds of press trips that I prefer to go on if I'm given the option are the kinds where I have free reign, where there's not like a curated selective parts of the city, people that I have to meet, all of these things. So that way I can kind of blend in and get a sense of what day-to-day living would be like here. I get to meet locals. I get to hang out with like people who don't know who I am, and I get an unfiltered view experience of the city, or even entire destinations, sometimes country, right? So that is what I'm trying to do on the travel section of my page. I'm literally trying to make the Black woman's Greenbook internationally. I find that my travel content doesn't my decentering men and child-free living content tends to get more traction, tends to get more eyes, and I love that. Wouldn't change that for the world. But when it comes to Black women traveling internationally and being as aware as possible, as well informed as possible about the unspoken sides of a lot of the destinations that look so beautiful that people are showing on TikTok and all these things, I recognize, and this is a thing that I think a lot of people don't quite know about travel influencers, people that are paid to go to certain destinations. It is a very fine line, and I'm not trying to mess up anybody's bag. Please do not go and like unfollow a bunch of your favorite travel influencers, especially if they're Black women. But when you are paid by a destination to go and talk about all the beautiful things at a destination, it's going to be very difficult for you because of the kind of contract that you have with the destination, because of the kind of content that they expect you to create about this destination. It's going to be very difficult for that creator, if they have a negative experience or a series of negative experiences, to share that on their platforms. Why? Because now there's a contract and money involved. I, as a freelance travel journalist, I'm independent. I don't work for just one publication, right? That being said, if anybody works at The Guardian, I recently submitted an application to be a part-time, I guess a part-time, an editor for a travel newsletter that is specific to Black women in communities internationally. I just submitted that application yesterday, so if anybody knows somebody at The Guardian, please put in a good word for me. I'm literally the person that y'all need. But we're putting that to the side, right? Oh geez, what was I just talking about? One second. Right. So because I'm an independent journalist, I am not held to those kinds of contracts. My job is literally to go to somewhere. If I have a story that I've already been, like confirmed coverage is the phrase. If I already have confirmed coverage before I get to a destination, then cool, I'll like learn everything that I need to know about that. Outside of that, my job is just I'm not paid to go to those destinations. I'm just offered free trips. So that way I have the chance to gather as many stories and ideas as possible for the editors that I work for. So with that, I do kind of have the freedom to share the things that don't quite sit and fit. You know what I mean? Now I will be sharing more. I will be sharing more of the travels that I'm getting ready to do, the travels that I have done. I've been to, I genuinely don't even know how many countries at this point, and I am in the process of, while I recognize Tenerife was not great, I had a wonderful experience in Barcelona, and because of the amount of work that I do in Latin America and Spanish-speaking countries, I really need to learn Spanish. So I'm in the process of getting an educational visa right now, so that way I can my Spanish is okay, but I want to be as close to fluent as possible. So I'm in the process of getting an educational visa to Spain right now. Happy to talk about that process also. But if anybody has any travel related questions, that whether it's like certain countries, things to be aware of, things that when it comes to packing, anything like that, especially if you are a Black woman, please reach out to me. For example, something that a lot of people did not know, when I was in Barcelona, I packed so many hair supplies because I was like, oh, clearly there's going to be no space for me to. No, there was a store that had some of the same products that I have back here. I didn't need to bring all of those things. Now, that was the only store that I found in the area that I was living in, but also I wasn't really looking in other neighborhoods because I found my Black lady store. Now, did they have like extension hair and that kind of stuff? No, but they did have leave-in conditioner, deep conditioner, shampoos, and brands that we are familiar with. Yes, one of them was Cantu. Did I buy Cantu? No. Why? Because I love myself. Anyway, if you have any other questions, please tippity tap them away in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that great stuff. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.